So the normal race is a five stage race, and I think for those of us who went for the non-stop, the first question was, am I really able to finish this, you know? and that's basically the question, the thing that drove me and motivated me to sign in for the race. I first heard about it, I said, this is completely crazy. Let's try. Let's answer the question, am I able to do it? My training for the race was based on, you know, knowing myself, knowing about ultra distance, how I can keep going and make longer and longer distance. But that also included a lot of different sports, because otherwise you go crazy. I mean, So I tried to change, do a lot of different things: surfing, windsurfing, go stand-up paddling in waves, not just on flats, and that helped a lot. That helped a lot in keeping you very fit and change a little bit the mindset. Didn't have much time to recognize the track. It's over 200 kilometers, so you need time to actually know it. And I've never done the race before, so it was all a big rush. You know, we arrived there in Friesland and tried to recognize a few points. So I made my little maps, but still at some point in the race, and actually very near the finish, I got lost for a moment, and it's there is a little bit of navigation into it, and that's a dimension of the race that's quite funny, something.
If you participate in the 11C Tour, it is a race, or it was a race, but you don't race against somebody else, but you race against yourself. You know, if you do the same breaks as somebody else do, and as short as they do, then you might get in trouble at the end of the race. I did more breaks and longer breaks than Arnaud did. In the beginning, I thought Arnaud is not having a break at all. And then I was having a break every 22 kilometers. Yeah, and I had much longer breaks. But you know, you need to race against yourself, otherwise you kill yourself in the end.
The start of the race was really crazy. I mean, it was foggy, you couldn't see anything. Night, you know, at 4:30 a.m. I had not slept anything in the night. I had so much to prepare still, and I was expecting a start at 8 a.m. and just didn't get the time. And the start was really crazy.
Starting at 4 a.m. in the fog was like doing an obstacle run, but then blindfolded.
such a race is not about sprinting at the start or having being the fastest all the time, and you need to plan the race properly, in terms of how you're gonna rest, when you're gonna rest, what you're gonna eat, when you're gonna eat it, but definitely the key is mental. Mental is really the key. If you don't have a strong motivation mentally, if you're not really fit, you won't go to the finish. When your mind and your bodies are totally connected, you get into like a hypnotic state, and then you feel you're flying on the water. That's the best feeling. It can be 26, 30-hour race, and then at the end it's weird. It's like it was only half an hour. It's really weird. I was trying to maintain that state somehow, but at some point it can just go, and that's when you hit the wall. That's when and you're like, oh shit.
If you do the 11 city tour non-stop, you cannot do it without pain. You will have pain eventually, because you stand on the board for 20 hours plus, and even if you do your pace a little bit slower, and then even slower and even slower, even in the slower pace, in the end, your calf muscles will burn and they will feel like stones, and your knees will be hurting, and yeah, it's going to be painful. So doesn't matter what you do, you will have pain.
You can compare to any other race. It's just unique.
Yeah, so when I finished, I was sort of crawling off my board, and my knees could only be in one position, like not really bended and not really fully extended. I had something somewhere in the middle. That was the only position my knees could have. So yeah, it's a good race to do. You see Friesland in a very special way, but it will hurt.
Winning the race and setting a new record, it's definitely rewarding, and I'm very happy that worked out. But I think for me the best reward is all I've learned in the process, in the training, in the race itself, which was the conclusion of all the training basically, and all I've learned about myself, how much better I know how far I can go, and what to do to get there, and this is for me, that nobody's gonna take it away from me.
My thoughts on the 11 cities, well, it was just a non-stop slog from start to finish, and all the way through I was just thinking never again. But the moment you cross that finish line, it's just a massive feeling of elation and euphoria, and I must say a massive respect to Arnaud, Ike and Rico for the incredible times they achieved, just outstanding.